Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Wednesday, and that means tonight was AEW Dynamite. As far as tonight's AEW Dynamite does go, I thought it was a really good show. Like, the lineup going in was like, this should be all right, but it over-delivered in my opinion. I thought this show was really good, very entertaining, easy to watch. Yeah, I thought this was overall a great episode of Dynamite, one of the better ones I've seen in a while, at least in my opinion. So kudos to AEW putting on a good show here tonight in Austin, Texas at the HEB Center. And technically they weren't in Austin, even though they said they were in Austin. Technically, the HEB Center is in Cedar Park, but it's literally like a suburb right outside of Austin. Like Cedar Park to Austin is, let's see, Cedar Park to Austin, I think it's like not even 10, 20 minutes. But I can't remember. I've been to Cedar Park in Austin. I literally, for like 3-4 years, lived an hour from there. Let me see. Cedar Park to Austin. It's like a surrounding suburb. Yeah, 20 minutes. That's what I thought. About 20 minutes north. I lived in Copper's Cove, the Killeen area, because I was stationed at Fort Hood. And so when I'd go to Austin, we'd go every couple of months down to Austin just for the shits and giggles. We'd drive down there. Easy hour drive. So yeah, been to the area plenty of times. But overall, I thought great show, great Dynamite, a lot of good matches, a lot of good wrestling. And it kicked off strong with Jon Moxley and Dax Harwood, ended strong with the Texas Death Match. Still don't think it needed to be a Texas Death Match. But overall, I thought the match itself was really fun. The match was really good. And I thought the match delivered in what it was supposed to be. Now, it wasn't no blood feud, Moxley, Hangman, Swerve, but it still told a good story of, hey, all these guys are after Orange because Roddy wants Orange's belt, and right now, Orange only has one friend that can help him. And my question, he's only got one friend that can help him. He should have more than just one friend, because when you think about it, you got best friends. Best friends are, well, no, Danhausen ain't around. I would say Danhausen, because he's kind of sort of been part of best friends here and there off and on, but he hasn't even really been around much. So yeah, because Chuck's injured. Trenton did come out. But yeah, it's really just them two. Never mind. But with that, I'll say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out by hitting that donate button down below or donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Donating Twitch bits is also a great way to make sure your comment, question, or concern gets read live on the air. And also remember, you can subscribe to support the channel one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month, and I'd greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember to head over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button, that way you know when we post new videos, when we post when we go live, we post new videos, when we go live, or when we post things to the community tab. Speaking of YouTube, I will have a new special video coming out tomorrow. If you haven't seen the graphics I've created for the Elimination Chamber and our coverage of Elimination Chamber, you might want to go check those out. But if you haven't, or you have, whatever, I'm going to actually be putting out a tutorial video on how I created those graphics in After Effects and a little bit in Photoshop. So I will be teaching you how I created those graphics for my Elimination Chamber coverage. I'm going to be doing more of that. I started doing it a little bit last year, but I want to do more of those videos. So this month we will have that video coming out for Elimination Chamber. Then in a couple weeks, I'll put out my video showing how I made my WrestleMania 40 graphics. But the Elimination Chamber video is going to be a two-parter, because I'm showing you guys how I created it for a singles match, just a one-on-one match. But I'm also going to go in depth a little bit in a shorter second part on how I created the graphics for the Elimination Chamber match itself, and the special like rays and all the special cool things that I added to like separate and divide the wrestlers and so forth. So Those videos will be coming out this week, one tomorrow, and then if I can get the other one done in time, then the second part will be out on Friday, if not Saturday. Also, remember to head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game like Skull and Bones, whether you're buying an old game like Outriders, or you're claiming the free game, Doki Doki Literature Club, or Dakar Rally, which goes free tomorrow, use this code right here. PW Unlimited at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Playing Fortnite, trying to get all them Ninja Turtles, trying to get Shredder. Maybe you want Master Splinter? Well, then you're going to have to buy V-Bucks. And when you do, use this code, PWU NLIMITED, for all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases. But with that, we've got AEW Dynamite to talk about. As I stated earlier, they kicked off with Jon Moxley versus Dax Harwood. Super fun match. I think this is, if I'm thinking correctly, and I think they said it, but I can't remember if they said it or not, Dax's first match on Dynamite in almost a year. Like last April, May, maybe April, was the last time he had a match on Dynamite, which is crazy to think that he's been that exclusive to Collision. But that's the thing. You want to watch FTR? You got to watch Collision, basically. As far as the match does go, Excalibur mentioned that on March 29th, the Blackpool Combat Club will be traveling to Arena, Mexico. They'll be taking on Mystico, Volador Jr., Blue Panther, and Ultimo Guerrero in CMLL. The match starts, and the crowd's in it for both guys. Like, they don't know who to chant for. They don't know who to boo. They start doing a little, like, mind games and stuff. They plant smooches on each other since it's Valentine's Day. They flip each other the bird, and that led to both men slugging it out with punches and chops. Harwood got the better of it early, but Moxley got the exchange going with some kicks, leading to a bulldog choke, which Harwood escaped, only to get clotheslined to the floor. The brawl continued outside the ring, where Moxley delivered a slingshot into the post. Back inside the ring, Moxley went for 10 corner punches, but Harwood countered into a Liger bomb. They were slow to their feet, and then both spilled over the top, crashing outside as things went to a picture-in-picture break. Gonna say, watched it on the TBS app website. Got more of the picture-in-picture this week than we normally do. I saw probably most of it. I know there was a couple where it was like, please stand by, your da-da-da-da-da is coming soon, or returning soon. So, didn't get every picture-in-picture, but I feel like I got more picture-in-picture than we normally do watching on the website / the TBS app. Excuse me, this cough just will never, ever go away. So when we come back from the break, there's some more ground submissions. Things then return as both men continue to throw chops and forearms, both connected with home run shots and collapse at the same time, leading to the reset. Moxley raked to the back while both were in the corner. Moxley ultimately couldn't capitalize as Harwood stayed strong and hit the superplex. While both rolled to their knees, we got some unprotected headbutts. This didn't look good. Like, didn't look good as far as like they were really freaking just katonging each other super hard. So they do the headbutts. Harwood then threw 2 lariats, but Moxley ducked the third. Hit one of his own, and Harwood absorbed it and completely hit a trifecta. We then got like 5 minutes. We got the 5-minute call from Justin Roberts as Moxley escaped a sharpshooter into an armbar. Harwood then got a stack for 1. Harwood then faked a high shot as Moxley ducked right into a pile driver for Harwood for a 2. Moxley then bailed to the outside and got Harwood to chase after him, which was a ploy. And then he went for a low blow by kicking the ropes inside as Harwood was getting back into the ring, basically crotching him. Moxley connected on a cutter and a curb stomp, but only managed 2. Both traded counters of their signature moves before Harwood hit a brainbuster, but missed a top rope headbutt. Diving right into a rear naked choke from Moxley, Harwood fought, but ultimately tapped out. There we go. Jon Moxley does defeat Dax Harwood here to pick up the victory. But then we get some stuff after the match. Moxley would then refuse to let the choke go, and so Cash Wheeler would hit the ring to try and beat down Moxley, but then out would come Claudio Castagnoli to even the odds. He dropped Wheeler with a neutralizer as Moxley reapplied the choke on Harwood before standing tall with Claudio. And I think Claudio also put Cash in a choke as well, and then they both stood tall, and yeah. So, good work here from all things considered. I think it's going to probably end up FTR versus Mox and Claudio in a tag team match. Now, they may have announced that. I missed a little bit late in the show, right before the main event. So if that did get announced, I missed it. But I do have a deal pulled up where, let me see, announced from, so I have a Twitter right here that tells me what was announced. Okay, got it. So that match was announced for next week's Dynamite. So next week's Dynamite is Joe Swerve and Brian Cage versus Hangman Page, Hook and RVD, and then FTR will take on Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli. Got it. Because I did miss, like in between the main event and the match right before it, when they normally announce, hey, this is coming next week, I did miss that part. But I was able to find on Twitter what was announced for next week. But regardless, great opening match. Crowd was super into it. And then, got a very interesting backstage deal with Don Callis and the Don Callis family. So Renee Paquette is backstage with Don Callis, Kenosuke Takeshita, and Powerhouse Hobbs. And they're asked, well, what's next for the family after their recent success? Callis said that they're a victim of their own success, and no one wants to face them. Callis says that they need to look within the family to result in the best match possible. So, it's going to be Will Ospreay versus Kenosuke Takeshita at Revolution. So this is an interesting thing on a couple different levels. I think Ospreay and Takeshita is going to be a tremendous match. But is this Don officially saying, hey, we didn't just use Will Ospreay in the past. He's part of the Don Callis family. So does that mean Callis is in this group? Is Callis, or not Callis, Ospreay part of this faction, part of this group? We already know that Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis are. Well, at least Kyle Fletcher. Mark Davis has been out injured since Kyle Fletcher joined, so we would assume Mark Davis is. I don't know. But now with Ospreay part of the group, is that just bringing in more of the United Empire or what? But he said we got to look within. So within is Will Ospreay. Questions has got to be asked. Does that mean Will Ospreay is effectively part of this faction in AEW? We know that Will Ospreay is part of AEW. He signed with AEW, and we're going to get his first match. It's going to be a Revolution. His first contracted match, I should say. Not his first AEW match, but his first contracted match. They said that after the pay-per-view, fans won't be talking about Sting's retirement. They'll be talking about the match of the decade between two members of the family. So again, calling Ospreay a member of the family. Because remember before, they made it just seem like we need somebody that can beat Jericho. We're going to get Ospreay. So, I guess once Ospreay shows up, we get this match, and then we get the follow-up. We'll know, is Ospreay actually part of the Don Callis family? Or is he his own man, doing his own thing, and Don just thinks he's part of the family? Because that could be a thing. That could be a thing. Where Don thinks he's part of the family, but then he swerves it up and changes it up on Don and goes, I ain't part of your damn family. Actually, if it was Will Ospreay, he would probably say, I ain't part of your fucking family. You know, he loves to throw them F-bombs. Gonna be interesting when we got Will Ospreay not throwing F-bombs all the time on AEW television because he can't be cussing on TBS and TNT. When you listen to like his New Japan promos, for the most part, there was a couple F-bombs in there. So then we got essentially a squash. Wardlow against Barrett Brown. Wardlow has a big brace on his right knee. Remember, he did tweak it, injure it a little bit a couple of weeks ago. Adam Cole was on commentary. Wardlow immediately hit the hanging knee strike out of the corner, posed for a bit before hitting a last ride powerbomb and picked up the victory. Cole, actually, I don't think about it. Adam Cole didn't say a word on commentary, did he? Now that I think about it, Cole was sitting at commentary, but I don't think I ever heard him say anything. Yeah, now that I think about it, I don't think I excuse me. I don't think I actually heard him say a word. Now that I'm thinking about it. As we move forward, there's a private jet that landed earlier today. Out came Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, no longer being called the Young Bucks. If you pay attention, they're not the Young Bucks. They're AEW EVPs, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. Graphics, everything don't say Young Bucks. They're still wearing the same bloody suits from last week. They got into a Hummer limo, and they're heading to the arena. Yeah, Jonathan says he didn't say anything. Didn't think so. Then we got Adam Copeland versus Daniel Garcia. This match went to a no contest. I thought these two worked really well together until, well, the no contest at the end. I can't get rid of this cough. The Copeland used his height and power as an advantage early by delivering corner strikes and an arm drag, or as Jericho would say, arm drag. That drove Garcia down. Garcia countered an arm bar into an ankle lock at one point, and Copeland bailed to the ropes. After a forearm exchange, Copeland dodged a drop down by Garcia into a splash. But when trying the sequence again, Garcia had it scouted to gain control. Garcia tried a crossbody out of the corner, but Copeland caught him into a shoulder breaker. This then gave Copeland the advantage going into a commercial break. Then, during the break, it seemed as if Copeland was kind of playing the heel for a moment or so. He seemed to be mocking fans at ringside, snapped the fans' sunglasses, which was very weird. Copeland was then cut off into the ropes, but fell back to the floor. He hung up Garcia by his injured arm. And once again, Copeland took too long to capitalize, got crotched in the corner, and Garcia hit a dragon screw off the second rope. Garcia turned into a house of fire with strikes and a running boot into the corner. Both he and Copeland fought. Copeland did fight out of a Saito suplex at one point, and Garcia connected on another dragon screw as both tried submission attempts here. Garcia finally sank in an STF. This time, Copeland cut off Garcia in the corner and delivered an avalanche impaler, dropping Garcia on the injured arm. Copeland charged up for a spear, but Garcia had it scouted and hit a punt kick into a jackknife pin attempt for a 2. Right as Copeland locked on the grindhouse, Nick Wayne and Killshot would hit the ring for a beatdown, causing the no contest as they attacked both men. Garcia then Christian Cage that is, sauntered to ringside and grabbed a couple of chairs. He grabbed one final chair from under the ring, which then led to Matt Menard, who was on commentary, to jump up, grab the chair from him, only to be decked down by Killswitch. The Patriarchy then tried to deliver a concerto to Garcia, but Copeland did return to the ring, cleared house, and took the chair. As Cage cowered in the corner, Copeland teased hitting Christian with it before, well, Mother Wayne would hit him in the wang. Mother Wayne to the wang. That needs to be on a shirt. Mother Wayne to the wang. This then allowed Killswitch to hit the extinction lariat to the back of the neck of Copeland. Cage then delivered a concerto to Copeland before holding up the TNT title with his boot on his former friend. Cage and crew then left smiling as Garcia stared down the TNT champion. So they teased here hard. Daniel Garcia could be challenging soon for the TNT championship. Big question is, who's going to beat Christian for that belt, though? After the break, Excalibur did tell us that Adam Copeland had to be helped to the back by doctors, and he and Daniel Garcia were being evaluated backstage. We then had a face-off with the 3 men in the main event. Well, possibly main event or world title match, I'll say, at Revolution. Samoa Joe, the champion, Hangman Page, and Swerve Strickland. Joe came to the ring first to a loud ovation from the crowd in Cedar Park, Austin, whatever you want to call it. He stands proud as the AEW World Champion. Joe said the ranking system was to ensure only the best victims would be allowed to continue his title reign. He said things were going so well until the time limit draw last week. Joe said booking took a page out of the old Texas playbook and made his main event bigger and, well, dumber. So that's a crime against him that has been committed. So there must be repercussions. He said as Page and Strickland may walk into Revolution, they'll limp right out. Joe said he is the AEW World Champion and there's nothing no one can do about it. He will walk in and walk out of Greensboro the champion. Swerve then made his way down to the ring with Prince Nana by his side and said the more Joe runs his mouth, the more personal it becomes. Really? I don't get that. Like, he's the champion and says, challenge your step to me. I'm going to beat you up. Okay, we got that. How's that personal, though? Then every title match should be personal. If you're just going to say, I'm going to beat my challenger, because that's all champions always say, I'm going to beat my challenger. He didn't say anything specifically about Swerve. He didn't really say anything specifically about Hangman. He's just like, y'all put two guys against me, I'll beat them both. So for Swerve to say, the more you talk, the more personal this gets. Not really. Strickland said that Joe said hunger defines the greats, and Strickland is on his way to becoming the greatest of all time. Strickland told Joe to check his resume and put respect on it. Strickland said folks said that maybe one day he'll go down as one of the greats. Maybe. But he's ready to make that a reality. Revolution, the fans will continue to chant, whose house? But he'll also be leaving as AEW World Champion. Hangman and Page stormed out to the ring. There boos for Page, which was interesting. Same boos that we got last week, basically, when he took on Swerve. Said he wasn't mad. And when you read the weekly Dynamite report, everyone knows last week was horseshit. Page said that the winner of the match last week became number one contender, which is something Strickland didn't do. Page told Joe if it were up to him, the match would be between two men who value the AEW World title. Now I need to stop here for a second. He says the winner of last week was supposed to become number one contender. Okay, so Swerve shouldn't be number one contender because he didn't beat you. Well, you shouldn't be number one contender because you didn't beat Swerve. Technically, Swerve should be number one contender because when those first rankings came out, Swerve was number one, Hangman was number two. So if no man won, Hangman was technically ranked number two. So Swerve should have just gotten the singles match if we really want to go at it that route. Page told Strickland, after everything he's done to Page, he doesn't deserve a second of his time. Strickland didn't deserve 5 more minutes last week because he couldn't get the job done in the allotted amount of time, and Strickland doesn't deserve to be in the world title match. Well, if that's the case then, Mr. Hangman, you don't either. Joe interrupted and said both believe that they're pinning each other, but he's Samoa Joe, and he's wiping both of their asses before even leaving the ring, or whipping. Kyle Lally then got behind Joe as they chanted, Joe, 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 for the go-home line. So, I liked this. I thought this was really good. It built intensity for the match. It built drama for the match, but it also made all this booking sound stupid when Hangman's like, you shouldn't have got the match because you didn't beat me. Okay, Hangman, then you shouldn't have got the match because you didn't beat Swerve. We then get Toni Storm's next video, Wet Ink. Storm talks about her tattoo on her ankle, which reminds her of a girl she befriended before she felt sorry for her. Oh my God. It's the way this is being delivered. Storm said that Deonna Purrazzo was her young girl who she helped get into Japan, and Purrazzo was nurtured on her bosom of brilliance and suckled on the teat of talent. Storm said that Purrazzo bit the tit that fed her. as somewhere along the way, Purrazzo forgot she was just an extra. Storm asked, "What do you do when you can't change the past?" She said, "You kill it." This all took place in a tattoo parlor as Storm had her matching tattoo, the little bird on her ankle, with Deonna Purrazzo changed to have a dagger going through it. Now, I don't know if it was a real tattoo that was added or if it was a fake tattoo that was added. I don't know. But we see that. Then we cut to Renee with Deonna. We're in the back, and Renee asked Deonna Purrazzo, "You have any thoughts on what we just saw?" Purrazzo said the Storm talks too much. And Slippy said she's going to break her arm, and then said, basically she was like, "Revolution, I'm going to break your arm, bitch." There we go. Vows to break Tony's arm. Then we had Matthew and Nicholas Jackson taking on Top Flight Dante and Darius Martin. Early on, Nicholas started the match off and wore his hat, which only lasted a few seconds before Dante got the upper hand. The hat went flying, and a frustrated Nicholas regrouped. Back inside the ring, there was a Cazadora arm drag from Dante that led to Matthew trying to calm his brother down and offering a fist bump to Dante, who just, decked him. Quick tags back and forth between Dante and Darius, who wanted dueling dives, but Matthew and Nicholas bailed before it could happen. Matthew and Nicholas then gained the upper hand, briefly on the floor, but Dante and Darius fought back, hitting double slingshot dives. Back inside the ring, the Jacksons once again gained the advantage this time stayed in control during a picture-in-picture break. Darius finally fought free with a step-up corner guillotine kick as Matthew as Dante made the hot tag to Darius, who ran wild, catching Matthew with a huge crossbody for a 2. Stereo sunset flips from the Martins on the Jacksons got dueling chants until Martin faked a super kick, and then Matthew faked a super kick and then hit Dante with a DDT before telling the camera that these guys are good. Dante then again fought back and hit an assisted DDT from his brother for a 2 on Matthew. Dante then took out Nicholas with a tope, while Darius hit a Spanish fly on Matthew. Nicholas managed to take out Dante on the floor as Matthew tried to get his feet on the ropes for the pin, which Rick Knox did catch. Nicholas then argued, allowing Matthew to hit a pop-up punt kick. I wrote that weird. Oh, okay, I did write it weird. Pop-up low punt kick. They then hit the EVP trigger and defeated Top Flight. So the Jacksons, Matthew and Nicholas, the EVPs, do pick up the victory. After the match, Tony Schiavone came into the ring and conducted an interview, as Matthew said that they're undefeated this year and said that makes them the top unbeatable tag team in AEW. Matthew mockingly put over how great Top Flight were and said that they're the number one contenders now, even getting their own graphic to say so. Schiavone said Sting is not there tonight due to their heinous attacks last week, as Matthew cut him off and said, "That's a breach of contract," publicly disparaging the EVPs. Nicholas said that Schiavone must now pay a $1,000 fine and asked if Schiavone has a problem with that before shoving him down. Matthew calmed his brother down and went to help Schiavone up, teasing an EVP trigger before Darby would sprint to the ring with a baseball bat. So basically the story here is like they're both dastardly heels, but Nick is more of a hothead that sometimes, or Nicholas, won't get fined, Nicholas is more of a hothead that Matthew has to calm down from time to time. The Darby reminded them what the original mission statement of AEW was, and that's change the world. Allen said that he begged to get hired here, but they saw nothing in him. Instead, hiring their shit California crew friends. Allen said, thank God there was an EVP around with a sense of brains, and he's not talking about Kenny Omega. Crowd starts chanting for Cody Rhodes. He made a Cody Rhodes reference there. Allen said the Bucks did an interview last year saying that they re-signed to AEW due to the easier schedule, which in turn makes their original mission statement dead. The debut episode of AEW didn't have Darby Allin. Instead, it had guys like Brandon Cutler. Allen said that the Bucks don't know what they're getting themselves into, as Sting has nothing left to lose. And come Revolution, It's showtime. I thought Darby was awesome here. I thought Darby cut a great promo. There was passion, fire, and I'm intrigued to see how this match goes. For some reason, something's telling me it ain't just going to be a singles match or a normal tag match. It is either going to be some sort of a street fight, some sort of a Texas tornado, false count. There's going to be some sort of element to this match, I feel. The Sting's last match, they're going to want to go all out, and I think they're going to have no rules and just balls to the walls. Excuse me. So Renee Paquette is backstage with the Bang Bang Scissor Gang in the lounge with the Bullet Club and the Acclaimed. Display Jay White said that they have new merch, gold, but yet to be tested out, but yet to test out their cohesiveness as a group. Eddie Ass and Austin Gunn took turns interrupting each other, suggesting a 12-man tag on Rampage. Everyone did their signature lines until Taz called them all annoying people. Taz couldn't be more right. This was dumb and annoying. At least it served a purpose of setting up a 12-man tag on Rampage. And if I'm looking here on Twitter for everything announced on Rampage, give me 1 second. Here we go. It didn't give opponents. It just says Bullet Club Gold, the Acclaimed, Daddy Ass could beat in 12-man tag. For some reason, we're getting Jeff Hardy and Sammy Guevara in an ODQ match. What the fuck? More nonsensical, doesn't make sense booking. Jeff Hardy and Sammy Guevara in an ODQ match? What? Okie dokie. Excuse me. We move forward. We got our one woman's match of the night. Willow Nightingale versus Sky Blue with Stokely Hathaway on commentary. Stokely also came out with Willow Nightingale. Drink slowly. It ain't the drink thing. I've had this cough for months. It ain't going back. Or it ain't going away, I mean. Yeah, more nonsense match. What? Well, not this match, but the Jeff Hardy, Sammy Guevara, no DQ match. Like, huh? No one watches Rampage anyways. For the most part. So Nightingale and where was I? Here we go. Nightingale, Sky Blue started off strong with Nightingale getting Sky Blue into the corner, but then Sky Blue got out and cartwheeled her way out into an Irish whip and then hit a scoop slam for a 2. Blue responded with a float over Dragon Sleeper, which Nightingale easily escaped, unloading corner shots before Blue bailed to the outside. Nightingale chased after her and connected with the pounce on the outside, or back inside the ring. Back from a break, both ladies slugged it out until Blue hit a thrust kick, and then Nightingale then answered with a series of clotheslines. Nightingale connected on a corner hip attack and a big boot before delivering a very, very good-looking spine buster. Blue avoided a doctor bomb and hit a DDT for a near fall. Blue sank in a Dragon Sleeper once more, but Nightingale backed her into the corner and onto the apron. Blue missed a kick and was launched with another pounce as we go back inside the ring. Nightingale then went up the ropes, but Blue slid through it and hit a cheeky Nando's kick and a corner powerbomb for a 2. Blue hit a code blue and had the visual pin, but Stokely distracted referee Aubrey Edwards just long enough for Nightingale to recover, get out of it, hit the doctor bomb, and pick up the victory. So I don't think this is Willow going heel, but more of like her having kind of like a heel guy by her side that's going to do dastardly things. Because it's I really wished, and maybe I just didn't pay enough attention and didn't see if like Willow even noticed Stokely help her. But I really wish what they would have done was like Stokely helped her not get pinned. And so Willow should have went to him after and was like, what was that all about? Why are you getting involved? You don't need to get involved. And he going, don't worry, I made sure you won, or something like that. And like Willow not liking him helping, but him still wanting to. I wish they would have done a dynamic like that. And if they did and I just missed it, I don't know. Because I did miss, as soon as this match ended, I had to go in the other room because I was making dinner. And I missed the next like 5 minutes or so. I got in right when the main event was starting. But yeah, I wish there would have been some sort of a dynamic of like, Stokely helped, but Willow didn't want the help because she's not a heel. She's not a cheater. She doesn't need that. John thinks maybe she'll turn heel soon. I mean, it's possible. I'm not saying it's out of the realm of possibility because you've seen just the same Willow for the last 2.5, 3 years. How long has Willow been around in AEW? At least 2 years. So, I mean, eventually you want to change up the character. Then we got the Texas Death Match, which did have the one issue, actually technically the two issues that I felt like it was going to have. A, not enough time. Things felt rushed because of it, and they had to work through commercial break, which kind of pull you out at one point, and then you have to get back into it and stuff. So it's like, good match. Really, really, really good. But could have been so much better. Could have been so much better. Oh, no. Give me 1 second. Jonathan with some breaking news in the chat. Give me 1 second here. Okay, I'm going to throw this up on the screen really fast. Spoiler alert for the AEW Rampage tapings. I am watching a video right now. Oh, wow. You know what? We're just going to show this on the screen. Screw it. I'm going to pull this up on the screen. This is from tonight's tapings of Rampage. If you don't want to be spoiled, well, actually, this doesn't spoil anything, kinda, I don't think. But Jeff Hardy was injured on tonight's show. As you see here, Jeff's laying in the ring. Sammy is going to the top rope. We can fast forward a little bit. So Sammy is going for a shooting star. Jeff gets the knees up, and Sammy knees Jeff in the face right there. It is said that Jeff was knocked out, like cold, knocked out. So here's to Jeff Hardy and prayers. Hopefully he is okay, but Jeff Hardy was potentially injured and at least knocked out during tonight's AEW Rampage tapings. Thank you for the heads up on that one, Jonathan. That's why we do these live. So that way, if we miss anything while we're live, you guys can help us out and keep us on our toes. Also, speaking of us, no Luke tonight because he's actually sick. He's got a fever and everything. He's like, I can't make it. I ain't feeling good. So here's the Luke. Hopefully he does feel better here shortly. So as far as the death matches go, like I said, it should have been longer. It had elements of a really good death match, but they rushed things because of the TV time. They rushed things, and it's just they got going good, but they never hit that peak, I feel, that other death matches we've seen in the last year or so have really hit. So when looking at the match, the match can only be won, again, as you know, by knockout or submission, as Taven faked Cassidy out early on, like he was looking up the ramp for his buddies, which allowed a cheap shot to start the match. There's an enziguri and a blue thunder bomb that caused Cassidy to roll to the floor, but Taven stopped the ref from putting a 2 count and slammed Cassidy into the barricade. Taven tried another whip, but Cassidy hurled the barricade, and both men brawled into the crowd as he went to a break. When things did return, Taven hit an elbow drop off the stage onto Cassidy, who was set up on a table, which didn't fully break. Taven then set up the table again against the stage and hit a suplex to officially break it. But Cassidy broke the count. Not to get too TMI here, but like I feel like I got a phlegm ball stuck in my throat. That's why I keep drinking so much. Here we go. John, you're correct. The peak level never was there. Like, I feel like it never hit that peak that we're used to with these types of matches in AEW. And I think that was the restrictions from being on TV. The time restriction, having to go to commercial break, and just maybe not being able to do quite as much because we're on TV. Inside the ring, Taven spiked Cassidy with a DDT, and then we went to the outside where he grabbed another table, setting it up against the announce booth. Took a little too long, and Cassidy hit a tope, but Taven responded with an enziguri and a baseball slide as Cassidy put on the brakes from in front of the table. Taven tried a massive dive, clearing the top rope, as Cassidy moved and Taven crashed through the table, almost taking out commentary in the process. This did wipe out the commentary table and their monitors and whatnot. And Excalibur goes, well, we're running blind here. We can't say anything with our monitors down. And I'm like, can't say anything with your monitors down. They're right in front of you. I'm like, the action's literally right in front of you. You can't see anything. We're running blind here. What? That was dumbass line from Excalibur. Oh, we're running blind here. Can't really see what's going on. Because you don't know what shot and camera, the angle the TV is seeing. But you're still seeing the goddamn match. It's not like before when you're all the way up on the stage and they're like say they're up here on the stage. The ring is here and they're fighting on this side of the ring where you can't really see. That's different. But you're literally next to them. Taven breaks the 10 count as he was down here for a while. Cassidy then went under the ring and found a heart-shaped box that read, quote, 2OC from Chucky T, XOXO. Cassidy dumped out a bunch of thumbtacks and went for a superplex on Taven, who was also now bleeding. He fought out and sent Cassidy crashing onto the tacks. Taven then wanted a frog splash, but Cassidy moved and Taven landed on the thumbtacks. Cassidy followed this up with an around the world at DDT onto the tacks. Cassidy then got a chain from under the ring. Crowd went wild and outran Mike Bennett. He showed up and smashed what I believe was a wooden heart-shaped box over Cassidy's head. Then threw a bunch of chairs into the ring as Trent Beretta would come out with a box of roses, which was really just a box with a pipe in it. Beretta then smacked Bennett's chair into his face with the pipe before Taven chucked the chair at Beretta. The chair set up, Taven hit a bulldog driver onto it, but Cassidy was there to hit the orange punch and a beach break onto a stack of chairs and the thumbtacks. Cassidy then wrapped his hand in the chain, or wrapped the chain around his hand, however you want to say it, and hit an orange punch as Roderick Strong would make his way out to the ring and tried to hit a running knee, but Trent would jump in the way and take the bullet for Orange and Orange then sent Strong packing. Taven never made it up before 10, and Cassidy was declared the winner. And so commentary kind of, like Taz tried to kind of put over that, oh, it looks like Trent maybe took that blow for Orange. But I feel like he didn't do it enough. Commentary didn't do it enough to be like, hey, Trent Beretta took that shot so Orange didn't have to, so Orange could win the match. So, could have been better there. But regardless, really good match. But I feel like it never actually got to fully peak. Like, it did what it needed to do as a TV match. But as a Texas death match, yeah, multiple guys bleeding, weapons used aplenty. But it just felt like a normal AEW no DQ match than an actual, like, oh, we're going to kill each other death match. But with that was everything that did take place tonight on AEW Dynamite. Let me set up the poll on Twitch really fast. What did you think of Dynamite? I liked it. It was all right. I didn't like it. So go vote on Twitch as we check the other polls. Also, I do have the lineups now here for Rampage and next week's Dynamite. Don't have anything for Collision. Doesn't look like anything was announced for Collision. But as far as Rampage does go on Friday, Jeff Hardy versus Sammy Guevara in no DQ, Queen Aminata versus Anna Jay in the Bullet Club Gold, The Acclaimed and Daddy Ass in a 12-man tag. As far as Dynamite next week, Samoa Joe, Swerve Strickland, and Brian Cage will be taking on Hangman Page, Hook, and Rob Van Dam. And FTR will take on Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli. Looking at all of the polls here, as far as the Threads poll does go, 60% liked the show, 32% thought it was just all right, and 8% didn't like it. Looking over at the Twitter poll, 55% liked the show, 25% thought it was, 55% liked it, 25% didn't like it, and 20% thought it was just all right. Looking at the YouTube community poll, 55% liked it, 24% didn't like it, and 21% thought it was just all right. Some of the comments here says, I liked it, keep going better. What? Oh, okay. This person said I liked it, but was flipping between this and something else. Price is Right at night. I guess there was a special Price is Right tonight. Oh, all I know is at the same time there was qualifying for the Daytona 500. Shout out Joey Logano and the number 22 Penske Ford team. Winning the pole for the Daytona 500 versus 8 out of 10 versus 7 out of 10. And this person says, if you think this show was anything less than good, you need to take a look in the mirror. I thought this was a really good show. Very easy to watch. And I thought it had great matches overall. Maybe not great matches overall, but really good matches and everything. Every match I felt like was really good. Like every match delivered tonight. I did see some people on Twitter going, oh, I didn't care about that Wardlow squash. I mean, it did what it needed to do. I also saw a few people saying, oh, Willow and Sky Blue wasn't that great. It was, for what it needed to be, I thought it was really good as well. Looking at the YouTube live poll, 63% liked the show, 23% thought it was just all right, and 13% didn't like it. And finally, everybody that voted on Twitch liked the show. But with that, I'll say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, we have a two-part series coming up this week. I am going to teach you guys how I made my Elimination Chamber graphics for both singles matches. So we will be showing you how I made the graphic for Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax. And I'll show you how I made the graphic for the Elimination Chamber match as well in the second part. So check those out later this week. One should be out tomorrow, and then the second part should either be out on Friday or Saturday morning. With that, guys, have a great rest of your night. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you next time.